What's up, everyone? So today is Thursday, and I wanted to do a Thursday vibe because I want to talk about the rise of personalized and AI powered email marketing. So, when we think about email marketing, of course, we have to take into consideration how fast it moves in terms of the evolution of it. Artificial intelligence is really at the heart of that transformation. We can pretty much kiss those days of generic, one size fit all emails goodbye. Now, what businesses should focus on delivering or can deliver are those tailored to individual preferences that feel more like they were written just for that person. So, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about how AI is really reshaping email marketing and how balancing personalization with privacy is going to be more important than ever, right? So, the very first thing that I want to talk about is AI driven personalization or making emails feel personal. Like you know them, okay, which is super important for any business, but definitely for young upcoming businesses and those who operate in the virtual space. When we talk about AI driven personalization, right, and making the email feel personal, what we're talking about is that we're going to let AI make it easier, right, to create emails that actually resonate with people. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to be done. So, the first thing is going to be in predicting what people want. AI uses predictive and analytics, okay? And that is what is going to help you figure out what your audience want before, okay, they even know it themselves. It looks at past behaviors like clicks, like purchases or browsing habits, and it suggests the perfect time to send an email or the type of content that will grab their attention. So that's the very first thing, predicting what people want even before they know what they want. The next thing is going to be in the dynamic content that adapts. So imagine opening an email where the content changes based on what you've been shopping or reading about online. That dynamic content in action, it ensures that every recipient gets something relevant to them, whether it's a product recommendation or a tailored offer. Don't believe me? I want you to go and do a quick search for something and then watch how everything in around that particular subject or that topic starts to show up in your feeds, in your Facebook, in all of your feeds. Okay, so it is working, and it's working for email as well. The next thing, well, so that was the dynamic content that adapts, right? The next thing is going to be smarter segmentation. And you've heard me talk about segmentation here on this channel quite often whenever I talk about email and how email can be a very big game changer for your business. When we're talking about smarter segmentation, forget about those broad categories like men or women, right? We're talking about AI can group people into super specific segments based on detailed behavior and preferences. This means businesses, brands, right, like you, can send hyper targeted messaging that feels much more personal. And that's what we're trying to get at, right? So we want to be their best, right, whenever they need it, their bestie whenever they need it, whatever they're looking for that you offer, you want to be the first thought on their mind, right? Where can I get this? And they want to be like, oh, I know I can get it from, and that's you, right? So just to recap, AI driven personalization, making email feel personal. How? By predicting what people want, by having dynamic content that adapts, and by having smarter segments. Okay, perfect example of how AI can make email personalized. The second thing that AI does is that AI powered automation makes it so that you work smarter and not harder. So AI doesn't just make email better, right? Which it does. Let's be honest. It makes creating them easier too. Let me talk about how that can actually be integrated into your email marketing. So the first thing is going to be through your subject line. That works. Okay, so if you ever wonder why some subject line make you click while others don't, AI can analyze it. They can analyze what works and what doesn't. And this is going to help you craft subject lines and grab attention. Plus, it keeps learning from each campaign to get better over time. So the more emails that you send, right, it's testing and analyzing that information so that the next time it gets smarter. The next thing is going to be real-time campaign tweaks. So AI can monitor how your emails are performing, like the open rates or the clicks, and adjust things on the fly. So for instance, if a campaign isn't doing well, AI might suggest tweaking the timing or the content to improve results, which is super helpful. And it's in real time. So that means that the next time those email sequences go out, or the subject line is delivered, it can give you feedback on, okay, wait a minute, we used something similar and this did not work. Okay, the next one is going to be the effortless A/B testing. So if you're into email marketing, then you have probably had some kind of A/B testing where you are trying to determine, well, which one of these particular email subject lines or content, what is doing better? Is it text? Is it HTML? Is this subject line or that subject line doing better? AI can make it effortless, right? So testing the different version of an email to make it less time consuming. Now AI can automate this process so you can quickly see what resonates with your audience without all the manual effort. I've used this. It is amazing. And the best part about it is you can give it parameters. So you can set how long you want the testing to last. Now, depending, I don't know why this thing keeps falling out, but depending on the actual email and the circumstances that it's actually sending, you can set the parameters of how long you want the testing to last, which is great. So let's talk again about, how can AI make email automation smarter, right? First, it can suggest subject lines that work. Secondly, it has the ability to adapt in real time. And third, effortless A/B testing, right? Now, by automating these tasks, you can focus less on the nitty gritty and more on strategy and creativity, which is where you need to spend your resources. And that resource is time, okay? The next thing is going to be privacy puzzle, balancing those personalization and trust. So when you initially get individual customer, client, prospect into your ecosystem or your email funnel, you have to build trust, right? So as an amazing tool, right, through personalization, it can catch people, right? And you have to also do this by at the same time while caring about their privacy, right? So how do you create personalized experiences without crossing any lines? Be transparent, right? Let people know who you are, and how you're using their data. If they trust you with their information, they are more likely to stay engaged, okay? Get consent. Always make sure people have opt-in before, you send them emails. Not only does this keep you compliant with laws, but it also shows respect for your audience, right? Because if they don't want to be on your email list, then they shouldn't have to be forced to be on your email list. And then of course you want to make sure that you're using the data wisely. You don't need every detail about someone's life to personalize your emails. Okay, focus on collecting only what's necessary, like the preferences, purchase histories, and keep those things relevant without being intrusive. And that's going to be key. And then of course keep it secure. Data breaches are happening so quickly, And with that, people lose trust. So you want to make sure you're using a strong security measure to protect your customers' information. So that means whatever you're logging into your email systems with, right, you need to make sure that that password is strong, that it could not potentially be compromised to where now they're subject to having their information being mistreated or handled in a way that they had not intended. Right now, here's the thing: when you're done with personalization, it doesn't have to feel creepy, right? It doesn't have to feel like, oh, how do they know all this stuff about me? I don't like that. And sometimes that's what happens when you are searching for stuff and then all of a sudden things start popping up all over the place. You're like, who's listening to me? Like, is there someone, tracking or something like that? And you don't want them to feel like, they're being creeped out by the fact that you know their behavior, right? So keep those things in mind, and I'm just going to repeat them really quickly. So you want to be transparent, you want to be consistent for sure, you want to use their data wisely, and you want to keep it secure. Okay. What's next for AI powered type emails? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 things that I think is going to be coming real soon. So the very first thing is more voluntary data sharing. So people are becoming more comfortable sharing their preferences directly with the brands, like through surveys or quizzes, as long as they know it'll lead to better experiences. So if you currently have an email list, go ahead and send out a questionnaire, find out what they want, and then cater to that. The other thing is ethical AI practices. So companies will focus on making sure that AI tools are fair and transparent and there's no shady algorithm here, okay? And that's going to be important, especially as a consumer. You want to just kind of make certain that you're not being targeted for negative reasons or for reasons where you're going to be exploited. And then lastly, stronger customer relationships. Oh, you better believe it, right? By respecting privacy while delivering value through personalization, brands, which is you, businesses, which is you, right, can build those deeper trust and loyalty with their customers, right? So at its core, AI-powered email marketing is all about creating better connections between businesses and their customers, okay? So when it's done thoughtfully and ethically, it's a win-win for everyone involved. So as you know, this channel has been dedicated to email marketing as one of the tools that you want to incorporate in your toolbox as a way of making certain that your business is thriving through customer connections, relationship building, and of course, creating that brand loyalty and trust. So in order to do that, you have to have a good email marketing strategy, or at least a plan that you can implement in stages. So what we're doing here at J Hills Training is that we have an 8-week cohort that is currently accepting applications. You can apply for this cohort by clicking the information either in the description or in my bio. The application process is very easy. Once you get the application done, you will get information on how to register for the actual cohort. If you are not quite certain that you are ready to dive all the way in with the cohort, then you're absolutely free to check out all the videos here on the website. There's a lot of really good information about email marketing and things that you really want to think about before you start planning. And then also in this list, in this particular video, you can also download the checklist or the information that we just talked about so that you can have it for later. Things you want to think about in terms of what is next for AI in email marketing. And with that, my name is Janice. Thank you so much for checking out the Biz Strategy Studio. We are super happy to have you here. Definitely make certain that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, and share it with your friends, family, and business besties. With that, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.